to help everyone. You have to register with your Gmail or anything with the chat GPT, and then you can go to the chat GPT and you can ask anything. It will give you the solution to you. So try to use the chat GPT as much as possible while learning time, and whatever you want, you can utilize this. Say, for example, written test cases for sign in and written or design. So simply whatever you are writing, you want to write, you write, then it will correct and give you a right sentence. Design test cases for dashboard. Okay, so this is how you can, it will give you nice, see, it's giving very nice explanation. We have completed the task of writing test case for the sign-in functionality. These test cases encompass various scenarios to ensure the sign-in process operates correctly under different conditions. We have designed test cases for the dashboard feature, outlining the expected behaviors and functionalities to validate its performance and user experience. So it will give you, okay, so you write, if your sentence is wrong, you put it here, it will correct it for you. Okay? Or okay, you can ask, can you correct the sentence? So you don't know how to frame the sentence. You can ask, can you correct the sentence? Wrote test cases for registration and commented on the user story task. And task number you can give. So you see, I wrote test cases for registration, provided comments on the user story task. So simple. What we have written is something it is correcting properly. Okay, so that's why utilize this chat GPT also. Even spelling mistakes, everything it will give. Clear? Any questions? Say you have written one, Raheshwari sent one. Okay, that is a different one. See, Raheshwari wrote now, just now she wrote one comment. Starting working on test case registration. See, that's a mistake. It will give correct you, Raheshwari. See that, so you don't need to struggle, okay? If you're facing a problem in sentence, design, see this is wrong, right? Starting working on test case registration, you told, right? So this is what I have given. See, it will correct that. I started working on test cases for registration. See, so what you have written and how it is correcting. So this is how you need to utilize this chat GPT for anything. You ask anything, it will give you answer for you. Okay, even coding or anything. But in the interviews, it won't help you. But for a learning purpose, this is a very useful tool you can use. Even it will give you the test cases also if you give particular. For example, you want please provide test cases for sign feature. So it will give you all the test cases. Okay. See how many test cases it is giving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so like this, it will give you test cases also. See, we already did this. Attempt to sign in with valid username and password. Attempt to sign in with invalid username. Attempt to sign in with invalid password. Attempt to sign in with empty user name field. Attempt to sign in with empty password field. Click on the forget password link. Check the remember me checkbox before signing and close the browser. So attempt to sign in multiple times within a short time frame. So sign in from different devices, browsers simultaneously using the same credentials. Remain inactive for a specified period of after signing. So this is the kind of test cases also it will give you. You don't need to struggle also. Is it useful or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So utilize it in learning time, but uh, sometimes it gives a wrong results also, but you have to be very careful. So learn it and utilize it. Okay. Uh, yeah. So let's move on to the next one. So I want to explain smoke testing and sanity testing differences. So smoke testing means, as I mentioned, when you get the build first time from the development team, you will perform the smoke testing to ensure that there are no blockers, so stubborn bugs in the application. That's the smoke testing means. And here you will verify a basic functionality. You won't test all of them. You will just verify a basic functionality. So that is called smoke testing. Very basic functionality will check. Once a basic functionality is passed, say now the development and smoke testing you are performing. Once smoke testing passed, then only you will accept the build. If smoke testing is failed, you will reject the build and you will assign to the same development team. You will send a mail to the development team and managers saying that, so there are blockers, it is not working. So let them fix and come back. You will report a defect. So that's the smoke testing is when you perform the testing, basic functionality testing, when you get a build first time from the development team. That's a smooth. The beginning of uh, new feature development or anything, that time you will do smoke test. So in the smoke test, see that you have, for example, you have 100 to 80 test cases, right? So we have built an employee portal application for our client. As we follow continuous testing, we had to test each build right after its development. The client wanted to build the portal, which consists of feature like leave application, leave reports, so store employees data. This is the kind of different features. Okay. So first developers build a leave application feature and pass it to QA for testing. The QA team examined that the entire build required 80 to 100 test cases for all the scenarios, the leave application itself. So 80 to 100 test cases are there. When you get the build first time, you will just see simple high level login working or not. Show total leaves, count and types. Testing of the calendar while selecting the date. Select the date. User should be able to fill the required information, reason for leave. After applying the request sent to the manager for approval, manager approves the leave, employee gets the notified, leave gets deducted from the total count and log out. This is the basic smoke test. Then you have to do a lot of positive, negative later. But first basic functionality is working or not, you need to check that. That is called smoke testing. Okay, so in the out of all this, this is the one. So this is the smoke test, only 20 test case, maybe you will test it, not all of them. So that is the smoke test means. There is a regression test also, let me give you. Maybe sprint one feature, sprint two, feature one, feature two, sprint three, feature one, feature two, feature three, sprint four, feature four. There are four no features are there. You have to test these three regression because these are all developed a long time back. Maybe because of this integration, there might be a chances of new bugs here. Then how do you know? If you test only, you will come to know, right? And testing only new feature doesn't give a guarantee these are working fine. You have to retest it. Regression testing you have to perform. Regression testing, not retest. Regression testing you have to perform. The old functionality should work as expected without any errors. That is this regression. I already explained this regression, but what is sanity testing? Sanity testing is basically it's a subset of regression testing. So when you make a small modifications in one area, only that part you will test very effectively. So where the modification happened, only that area you will test in depth. That is called sanity testing. So sanity testing means, so very lightweight, only changed area you will do in-depth testing. So one part, for example, one bug fix happened in one area. Only that area you will test in depth. So that is called sanity testing, but it is the end of the release. So before releasing, so instead of testing entire test cases again, maybe in your regression testing, you got a bug. And so the development team fixed that. Instead of testing 100 test cases, only where the bug fix happened, only that part you will test it. That is called sanity testing. So it's many releases are completed, many builds you tested and done, a small change, a small bug fix happened. That time we will do a sanity testing. It's a subset. See this. First build smoke testing you will do, test case pass, and you will do system and regression testing. Then there is a small change happened. Small change happened. So you will verify that change part only very effectively will test it. That is called sanity testing. See, smoke testing in the beginning of the new functionality testing. When you get a build first time, you will do smoke test. But the sanity testing before release. So small change happened and that change only will test very widely. That is called sanity test. Clear? And they will ask you this question, what is the difference between sanity and smoke testing? So this is one of the widely asked question. End-to-end testing we have seen. UI testing, user interface means UI testing, all the, so UI part. So whether the UI looks good or not, spelling mistakes, alignment and consistency, tab focus, and scroll bars, all are present or not, you will check here. So accessibility testing means, so when there are no blind, dumb people, physically handicapped people are able to access your application or not, you will check in the accessibility testing. So the aim of this accessibility testing is whether your application is accessible for disabled people or not is tested in this accessibility testing. So there is a accessibility guidelines. There are tools So you cannot test manually. There are tools. The tools will be used to test this accessibility testing. So there is a disability means a deafness, color blindness, mentally disabled, blind and old age and other disabled groups should be able to access your application. So that's accessibility testing. Alpha testing, beta testing we covered. And next most important, ad hoc and exploratory testing. Ad hoc and exploratory testing. So what is ad hoc testing? Ad hoc means it's a kind of random testing. So ad hoc testing is a kind of testing that is performed ad hocly, ad hoc manner, without using any test cases, without any plan, without any documentation. And so they will just give the application, they will ask you to test it. Based on your previous experience or whatever it is, you will just walk through the application and you will do some random testing. So with this ad hoc testing, so you will perform the random test data you will give and you will check that. That is called ad hoc testing. Means ad hoc testing means without any documentation and any test cases, you will perform the random testing on the application. That is called ad hoc testing. So then exploratory testing. Exploratory testing means first you explore. That means you have a data. So you have everything, test data, documentation, everything. First you will understand, learn it, then you will implement it. Then you will start testing it. That is called exploratory testing. Ad hoc is without any documentation. Randomly will perform the testing with your random data. And you can go anywhere and you can do actions on the application. But exploratory testing, first you will understand. You will learn the application. You will learn the requirements. You will read the requirements. You will understand. Then you will start testing. That is called exploratory testing. Here you have a documents. Everything you have. Clear the difference between ad hoc and exploratory?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So black box, all this you are done already. We completed. Okay. Non-functional testing. So what is mean by non-functional testing means? So non-functional, till now we have seen functional testing types. So regression testing, smoke testing, retesting, integration testing, component testing, system testing, and accessibility testing, user acceptance testing, alpha testing, beta testing, end-to-end testing, smoke, sanity, ad hoc, and exploratory. These are all functional testing types. Now, what about non-functional testing types? Non-functional testing mainly focus on the performance, reliability, security, and usability. So these are the main terminologies you will focus on the non-functional testing. So mainly you won't bother about the how application is working. So your main focus is, okay, how quickly application is responding to your request. That is what you will focus in the non-functional testing. So you cannot run non-functional test cases manually. So it's very difficult to find out the performance of the application. So in order to do that, you need to use some tools. So there are some tools. So you need to use the tools like a JMeter, load runner. These are the performance tools will be there. So those performance tools will be used to find out whether your application is responding for the more users. Okay, how many users this will respond, and how much time it is taking for one request. When you send a request, how much time it is taking to send back. So that is the know how you will perform the non-functional testing, mainly performance testing, load testing, failover testing, compatibility, scalability, volume, stress testing. But mainly load testing and stress testing, volume testing, you should know very well. So security testing is again another team will perform, not by you. So we need what is load testing. So how you will test this load testing means, so in the tool, we have a JMeter. So JMeter, you can give the endpoints, like REST endpoints. And then, so they will create a virtual users. And that same time, people will try to access that. Virtual users is nothing but it's a simulation of real users when they are accessing the application. Okay, so 1,000 users, if they access at the same point of time, what will happen? How application behaves? 10,000 users, something like that. They will mimic the real environment kind of actions, and then they will get the statistics, throughput rate, request time, response time. So all these parameters will give you the performance of your application. So in order to check this, you need to use tools only. Manually, it's not possible. Okay, so that is this. Uh, so non-functional testing means. So what is load testing? Load testing means, so they will tell, okay, so this application can sustain maximum 1 lakh users or 20,000 users, not more than that. The maximum load you will test, that is called load testing. And there is a stress testing. Stress testing means you're going to test beyond the load, whatever the specified and acceptable load, right? Beyond that, when you give that beyond the load, then we can see the parameters, how it is working, throughput rate, response time, and different parameters you will calculate and check the, so before, so overload and minimum maximum load, how it is behaving and what are the parameters, and we are going to compare. So that's the stress testing and load testing means. Other than that, here there is some localization and internationalization testing. Localization means whether your application supports particular region related local languages or not. Like if you see now Google or Facebook, so you can convert your local languages. That's a localization testing. Any application which supports the local languages of particular country. And same internationalization testing. Internationalization testing means whether your application supports international languages or not. This is also called IIT-N testing. So between N and I, there are 18 characters are there. That's why IIT-N they will call IIT-N testing. So basically your application supports multiple international languages or not, like Germany, English, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, so Mandarin, Chinese Mandarin, all these languages are supported or not. So you need to test it. Sir, how we can test? We don't know the language, right? How? some experts will be there. Okay. So they will give the content. So when you select that language, the entire application content should change to that language format. Maybe we can do that. Even you don't need to learn the language also. You can use a Google translators. And we did same way Dutch language uh, for one of the applications. So they will give the content. So when you change English to Dutch, some mismatches will be there, and also some places language won't convert into Dutch, and still English messages will be shown. All those things. Okay, so that's the international languages, no internationalization testing. Any questions here? There is a compatibility testing. Compatibility testing means whether your application supports on different browser versions, different operating systems, different hardwares or not, you will check. So if your application supports, like Windows application and Windows operating system, Mac and Linux operating systems, you have to go and open that operating systems and access the application. Whether it is supporting or not, you test it on those environments. So then browser compatibility means when you are testing the application, so different browsers, whether it is supporting or not, you have to check, and their versions. So what are the different browsers? I hope you are aware of them, all the browsers.
Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge.
Safari, Firefox, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Opera. These are all.
Explorer.
Internet Explorer is almost gone. Okay, nobody is using now. Everybody using Microsoft Edge only.
Okay.
Microsoft Edge. This is the Microsoft Edge. Firefox. So this is the Google Chrome, Safari, and Opera. I have given in our beginning places. I think these browsers I mentioned here somewhere.